How's it going, everybody? It's Krusty Old Crow back again, doing another tactical perspective toy review on G.I. Joe Classified Series number 166, Major Bludd. Ah, what a great release this is. Clearly, I'm going to give a very favorable review, right? Well, maybe not necessarily, as this is a step-up reprint, I'll call it, of, a reimagining of an old favorite. I have opinions on this one, most of them good, but there's a couple of things on here I picked up on this. You know what, I'll mention that when I get to certain grading criteria. So, in the tactical perspective, last year, you might have seen, if you go through my playlist, there was a Major Bludd review, about 10 minutes. And, I gave him a so great. I love the guy, but his tack grade was great. His play grade was not so much. So today, with this new version of the Major Bludd figure, backed by such popular demand, and congrats Hasbro for listening and applying what you heard. Today, I'm going to find out whether that play grade improved or not. Believe I gave it a 3 or 3.5 last time. I'm not sure if it has improved. In fact, maybe it's going down. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I'm going to give you the review on Major Bludd. I'm going to do it that typical tactical perspective way, right? I'm going to go out and play with this figure for a little while, take some photos somewhere weird, hop in a kayak. This time I won't show you in the kayak. I'll just show you where I got there. Just do that once. And I'm going to come up with a tack grade, a play grade, and unlike the last time I reviewed Major Bludd in his original Cobra Island form, I'm going to give this Major Bludd, number 166 in the classified line, that je ne sais quoi grade, which is that French-Canadian term for, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm going to try and describe it to you, this key point that has me thinking about whether he's a good figure or not. So if you like that sort of thing, guys, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much, new subscribers. Thanks, old subscribers, for keeping the faith. We're back with a lot of figures coming at me these days. And, as we see with Major Bludd, this one has a strong 788 fire team vibe. So, of course, I'm putting him in a his tank because they just got intelligence report. My Joe Armored is coming. So read into that what you will for future videos, but we're going to have a good time in the next few weeks, and I just want to thank everybody for participating. Let's go have a look at that file card, which is how we always open this stuff up before we do the head to toe and the kit check. All right, we'll see you at the file card. As you guys have figured out by now, every time I'm reading one of those holy testimonies we call the G.I. Joe file card from back in the 80s and 90s, it's always pulled up from brilliant sites like yojo.com, and more importantly, in the file card sense, the 3djoes.com, where I'm always able to find those resources. And while I just get into the file cards, if you guys want to get into the characters and the deep dives, I refer you to JLS Comics, who has a playlist of Joe's heroes and villains alike, and gives you a good 15 to 20 minute breakdown on what that character is all about on every level. I'm going to cover the action figure and how it ties with the toy and how this file card ties in as we go here. So, Major Bludd, file name Sebastian Bludd, primary specialty as a terrorist. He applied and he was trained to be a terrorist. Secondary military specialty is weapons and tactics, right? So this means this guy's the strategist. He's the one that will surprise Joe with unorthodox hits and things like that. He's from Sydney, Australia. He's an 04 Major, I guess. Cobra acknowledges his rank back in that day. Bludd received initial military training in the Australian Special Air Service. Later joined the French Foreign Legion. Worked as military advisor in a number of countries and is currently wanted for crimes in Rhodesia and in Libya. Proficient with every form of infantry weapon in current use. Bludd has a tactical mind like a steel trap. Qualified expert, all NATO and Warsaw Pact arms. It's great write-up for a guy that I could picture being a terrorist when he starts off as a Australian Special Forces. They don't tell you how he ended up in the French Foreign Legion, but to end up in the French Foreign Legion is a man who's trying to disappear and still do the work he he knows to do, which is kill, right? Major Bludd writes poetry badly. When you're feeling low and woozy, slap a fresh clip in your Uzi, assume the proper firing stance, and make the suckers jump and dance. That's from the Attica Gazette, a submission he probably made. It's something that taints the character for me as I saw it bits and pieces in the cartoon, what few cartoon episodes I did watch. Blood, always a little hokey, which is a damn shame because I remember telling you guys when I did my review on number 27 how much I believe Daniel Day-Lewis is the perfect actor to bring Blood to the big screen. I think he, again, would steal the show. There's just something about the way he plays a bloodthirsty, confident sociopath or psychopath, whatever you want to call the characters he's played in things like There Will Be Blood and Gangs of New York. Daniel Day-Lewis is the guy that I want to see play Sebastian Blood so bad. Anyways, guys, that's the file card. Some really interesting stuff in there. Let's go have a look at the character. Now, with the file card behind us, we're going to have a look at some of Sebastian Blood's kit that he came with, and it's no different than the kit that he came with in the original Cobra Island variant, number 27 in the classified line, which I hunted down at Joe Fest in 2024. Paid a pretty penny for. No regrets. And I like to fashion this this trench coat over him. And I'm going to leave him without his helmet off. He's going to find a new shelf as I now replace him by the 788. He's going to keep his coat because it works better for the Browns. That's not a problem, but that's not a piece of kit I had set aside for the Hiss one because the Hiss one is glorious all on its own. He needs nothing more to buff him. What did they give him with kit, though? The same stuff. Here is the rocket pistol for him, for the old one, and here is number 166's rocket pistol with the rocket attached, because unlike with number 27, I managed to keep my rockets for 166 the instant I opened them, and so far with him in my possession for 27 or more hours, I have not lost one. Wish me luck. I almost wasn't as lucky with the original. I only have one rocket for Major Bludd's original one. So you get that pistol. I'm not going to keep waving. Well, maybe I should do the comparisons, but it's no changes to the hand cannon that everybody really likes. That souped up, super air vented revolver of death that he totes around. My God, I love this hand cannon so much. There you go. But again, no actual blast effect port that I can tell. I want to see with my glasses. Yeah, they didn't add a blast effect port because while it looks like a revolver, it is actually an energy weapon. And unlike what they did with the Cobra Divers, where they highlighted the weapon tips blue, they did nothing here. They just left it the same paint pattern that they had the first time. You know, and no blast effects the first time either. The two rockets and the backpack system is unfortunately also something that hasn't changed. It's the same system, which means we have the same clipping issues, and that is why you do not see me, other than in the odd photos, with the rockets in there. That's going straight to a Ziploc bag and not getting addressed again. You have the option of letting them sport these dog tags, but unlike with the original, which I have set aside in a Ziploc, forgot to pull out, these ones look very dime store cowboy kind of way, very untreated, just raw silver, and I'm not a big fan of them. You know, once I track down my original number 27 ones, I'll see and make sure that maybe there's a better contrast to them that I like better. But there you go. They loop around his neck. You don't have to remove the head to put them on because it's a wide V-shaped neck point. So the last piece of kit I guess we're talking about is the helmet. Again, my number 27s is put away, but there is the one that we get for 166 Major Bludd, and you can see that they've blackened that, and then a lot of silver dry brush and highlighting put onto these ones to give it that weathered and worn veterans effect. Same as the black highlighting as his armor, and we'll roll into that head to toe now. You can see he's got really good up-down neck articulation, that classified two-piece neck system doing its job with a guy like him. Why? Because he's got a shaved head. You know, so they did a really good neck cut on there, and they can really seize advantage of it because he has no funky collars in his way, and his vest is built in such a way that it's really not, besides for the top abdomen flap there, it's a really good non-obstructive positioning hinge to get him into some good ab crunch. Lots of Lots of good flexibility right at the box. You know, I didn't have to heat him up. He was good to go. I wouldn't say anything was too loose, but the other arm is surprisingly willing to go. You know, it's not loose, it's not floppy, but just you can feel that ratchet. But man, she swings easily, right? I wanted to check the armor on this, and yes, one thing they did, and something goes flying off, and we'll see later, probably it was his rifle. Yeah, more dry brushing on that original armor flap. They did not replace it. I do like how this armor flap does not overly obstruct with the T, like you can't get a great T-pose. You can get it, but it's not fantastic after the flaps there. But does it ever look a lot better with all that silver highlighting and red, as opposed to what we had with number 27, which just kind of left us with brown tech, right? This was much stronger representation. I feel much more what's going on there. You can see his butterflies. Now, here is the thing. Back in the day, if you looked at his arm, he had a very human hand on the end of it, which led to discussion that it wasn't actually a cybernetic replacement arm. It was an exoskeleton augmentation for probably a crippled arm. It seems like with Classified, we're committing to the cyborg arm as you look at that shoulder joint and those tech fingers there, like a bat hand, right? But if you look at the original Major Bludd, very much more human hand with the little box wrist gauntlet, and perhaps that's the direction they'll go into the retro line in a later iteration. Kind of thought we were getting a retro line, not a mainstream Classified line before this, but you know, this is very, very satisfying to see this figure treated with such way. So you might be asking, what is the major improvement? Well, ladies and gentlemen, is they got rid of the pinned elbows and the pinned knees that were a part of the number 27 Cobra Island. And so we've got the pinless new leg system, new elbow system. They did add a bit of a unit identifier patch, which, if we're following Energon, could be his patch for his Bloodhounds, which could be the troop build that they do to support more 788, because this guy looks like he really belongs leading the 788 in the top of a HISS tank or on patrol with the troops dismounted, right? He is that red and black. What I did notice, and I don't see it anywhere, is a Cobra insignia, which tells me maybe there's a part in the storyline where he actually kicks off against Cobra in a disinterest. I don't know, but I don't see a Cobra allegiance on anything with Major Bludd, which is interesting. No Cobra logo on him, and I don't think I saw one on him before, right? So it's interesting when we read the Energon, you know, the new origins and all of this, but such black, I can't help but feel maybe there's a story coming where he betrays Cobra and becomes just Blood, and you could see him doing some stuff with Knife Force with these kind of colors. But of course, I digress. It's just red and black, right? Joe line, similar colors. No, I'm of course loving the 788 vibe, guys. So the changes to the highlights of the silvers and everything like that are fine. But again, we go back to what they didn't change, or where they kind of phoned it in. They phoned it in with the dog tags. They didn't change the backpack system, which was my ultimate disappointment, as it was kind of the leading cause for losing or dropping rockets, as happened to me during a photo shoot. It's just not a solid clip. You can feel just a lot of tension resistance that makes it feel just not right when it's seated in there, and when they pop off, they're light and they're quiet. It's not like dropping a weapon on the floor. It's like more like dropping a feather's fart. You know, just you might not hear it. Anyways, overall though, this character, the way where they put the highlights, where they put the accents, again, I want to commend Hasbro for listening, because what happened was they heard a lot of admiration for Major Bludd. And one thing I forgot to show you is that the facial 5 o'clock shadow differs from gray to light brown with this one. But they listened and they gave you really what their instincts told you they wanted. You wanted this figure modified better, made more available. You didn't want a different head sculpt. If you know, this was going to be the pinnacle, you wanted the pinnacle back. But on their own initiative, they tied it together with something existing in the line, that if you own a HISS tank, or if you own the Cobra MMS, if you own a 788 fire team, or any of those combinations thereof, you could appreciate this figure just a little bit more, right? But yeah, definitely a hardcore figure. Can't help but feel like he might not look too bad with the Iron Grenadiers, but that is not the nature here. The nature here is the mercenary turned general, like, formation leader, Major Sebastian Blood. I always hated how hokey he was in the cartoon versus how amazing he turned out now, because as a the guy who wants a more adult themed GI Joe, to me, this is the mercenary that could really steal the show for a lot of cinematic purposes. Really love the guy. But let's get into the play grade on this one as we get into grading, because has that changed? No, it has not. Did they make him more playable with the hinge system? No, he was pretty playable with the hinge system they had. They just made him visually more appealing, which is great. They did that across the board. That doesn't affect play. Affecting play might be perhaps reworking the missile components to work better in not falling off that backpack so they could be sustained in play. This little groove notch on the top of his arm, I remember on my last review, I tried to depict that they should have that launching from there as well, right? But they did not improve any of that. So on the last review, I think I gave the play a 3, if I remember right. It might have been 3.5, but a 3. And I was justifying that what I did like about it with the pistols and the cannons and the options of putting the rockets at the end of them, that was all fun. So going off of that 3 that I gave it the last time, the only reason I'm giving it a 3 now, because I want to take 1 away for not having improved that backpack, is because now they've tied this into something that complements things that are on my shelf that didn't have a resource coming originally. Nobody heard about a new His Fire Team character coming to the line, yet when 166 shows up, you see it, right? So way to recover that point on that play grade. So I digress. 3 out of 5 on play, because really the recovery from the last figure is all aesthetics, not planned process as I see it. Moving into that tack grade, definitely gave him a 5 last time as far as a sci-fi rogue gallery general goes. This guy is perfect, and he maintains that now, being able to justifiably throw an entire black and red little legion behind him. Whoever is backing him with that patch, be it Bloodhounds or be it the 788 or be it somebody else, they've got a glorious leader in appearance. You see me not often sporting him with all of his kit because I think the backpack is a piece of crap, yet having 2 anti-armor rockets and an anti-purse hand cannon for a guy who's not going to be at the front line, but just behind those front line troops leading the charge, I thought was a good 5 out of 5 tack. No problems. Darkening them up, making them fit in with his 788. Good tactic, Hasbro. 5 out of 5. Moving on to that je ne sais quoi. Okay, this is a grade I didn't have when I had the original Cobra Island guy. The je ne sais quoi factor on this was a 5 out of 5 if I had applied it in the day. Number 27 was an outlier of the line, especially how early it showed up, of really where the potential lay for the line as far as making glorious looking villains and possibly heroes, should those right skills be applied by the right people in the right time, right? I'm going to give a je ne sais quoi of I'm going to say a 4 out of 5 for this one. Not because it's not overtly original, just reprinting and all this. No, it's not that original to reprint the whole thing. It is original to fix the knees and elbows, sure. And it is very original to come up with a brand new color concept that works so well. That aside, I see not a whole lot of new in this, and it's not Hasbro's fault. It is the fact that Major Bludd was awesome the first time. You improved him, but I'm not surprised that you did it. And actually, I can't get around the fact that the only reason 166 is as cool as he is in these color sets is because they used a proven winner. All right, so giving that a 4 out of 5. Okay, so I gave it a 3, I gave it a 5, and I gave it a 4, guys. I love my Major Bloods. I can get to say that now. First Blood, second blood, it's all the same. They great figure, highly recommended, standard shelf price, easy access, over-the-counter classified, finally available to all these newcomers on the line who may have missed out on Major Bludd the first time. Guys, you see on the photo shoot, got new figs coming in. Like I said, next one's gonna end up being our glorious leader, number 168, the Armor Cobra Commander. Or is it Cobra Commander? Who is it in that armor? We're going to find out on my next review, guys. But I want to thank you guys for participating in this review. Let me know in the comments. Did you get number 27, and did that prevent you to buy number 166? Or are you getting 166 and saying, I need all the Bloods, it's too good of a figure? Let me know your thoughts on this figure, guys, because he's a personal favorite of mine. But I don't know how he relates with all generations in this line, right? Okay, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next Tactical Perspective.